His family reached out to us and they asked us to write character letters to represent the person that we knew for 25 years so that the judge could take that into full consideration relative to the sentence.
Yeah. Give a shout out.
Anecdote if you have one, yeah.
Wow, okay, I've got a lot I can't tell. So, I can't tell that one either. I mean, I'm like actually cycling through them.
Racketeering crimes, those famous friends have been pretty quiet. We're going to take a closer look at Combs' relationship with A-list actor Ashton Kutcher.
Our relationship was really bizarre. So it started over punked because he was like, yo,
don't punk
you
me.
can't punk me. And I was like, I don't know what to tell you. Everybody's on the table. He's like, not me, I'm off the table. And so that started our conversation.
Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis split rumors have been circulating online after his friendship with Diddy has been put under a magnifying glass following the rapper's arrest. But here's why. Photos resurfaced online of Ashton with Diddy, as well as videos in which he discussed the duo's friendship and made comments about the rapper's parties.
Diddy party stories, man. That was like some weird memory lane.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Binge Central. Today we're diving into a wild Hollywood bombshell that's got everyone talking. It seems like Ashton Kutcher is caught in a storm, and it's not just about his wife Mila Kunis, but about his longtime friendship with none other than Diddy. Ashton and Diddy have been friends for years, always in each other's orbit, from parties to business ventures. But now rumors are swirling that Ashton is starting to sweat, worried that Diddy might snitch on some hidden truths about their shared past to save his own skin. And get this, Ashton's fear is so real that he's pointing fingers in a shocking new direction, exposing Mila as Diddy's accomplice in some seriously shady dealings. So what's Ashton trying to cover up? And is Diddy really about to flip the script on him? Grab some popcorn, because this is one Hollywood scandal you won't want to miss. Let's get into it.
The complaint. But if that minor or any of the minors make their way into the criminal case and there's a superseding indictment, it completely changes Diddy's strategy. This is why. Diddy's lawyers have come out in the public and they've said that the freak-offs happened, but they were consensual. There's nothing wrong with weird activity between consenting adults, of course, if there's no force, fraud, or
allegedly
coercion.
From his enterprises, his businesses, his well-known Bad Boy Entertainment, his clothing line resources, his liquor line resources. Allegedly, there were funds used from that resources to engage in this alleged activity across state lines, and that's why it's a federal case, because it's across straight lines.
So there's a whole slew of people that P. Diddy had interactions with or worked with over the years that are hesitant to come forward. I think there's lots of reasons for that. I think one of the main reasons is, what will this sort of association do for my public image? You know, a lot of celebrities, I think, really rely heavily on their public image.
The intersection of discovery of these victims, but the pipeline in and the pipeline out are just as vital and just as important, and addressing them are just as important. I'd like to highlight one thing in particular, that being the foster care system.
What do you remember about the night?
I remember it. I'll give details.
Okay.
I remember it distinctly.
Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis are once again facing public scrutiny, this time due to Kutcher's connection to Sean Diddy Combs. The ongoing drama surrounding Diddy has prompted the couple to consider leaving Hollywood behind and relocating to Europe, as an insider exclusively shared with a news outlet. Ashton's frustrated that he's once again being dragged through controversy because of his past associations, the source explained. First it was Danny Masterson, and now Diddy. It has him convinced that there are better places to live than Hollywood. In his mind, the town has become a cesspool.
To write character letters to represent the person that we knew for 25 years so that the judge could take that into full consideration relative to the sentencing.
The letters were not written to question the legitimacy of the judicial system or the validity of the jury's ruling.
They were intended for the judge to read.
Summer in Europe sparks relocation thoughts. The couple, who first met while working on That 70s Show in the late 90s, recently spent their summer in Europe, which made them think more seriously about starting fresh. They even took their kids to see Taylor Swift's Eras Tour in London in June, enjoying some time away from Hollywood. According to a source, they had an amazing time in Europe, and now moving there is something they're seriously considering. They think it would offer a calmer and more grounded environment to raise their children.
I'm Michael Kelso. I'm the gullible kid that's kind of whipped between his girlfriend and his friends. I do what I can to keep things real. Pretty much everybody.
Well, I play Jackie. I'm very...
Mila was here a few months ago and talked about the first time that Ashton said he loved her, and I think it's incredible, so I want to show you.
It happened to me, and it happened to my mother. So my dad told my mom he was in love with her 3 months into their relationship, schmammered, fully schmammered. And my mom went, all right, talk to me in the morning. Like, we'll reconvene this.
Yeah.
Same thing happened to me with my husband. 3 months into our relationship, he like showed up in my house at 2 o'clock in the morning, and he was like, I love you so much. And I was like, oh Lord, have mercy. I was like, go to bed. And he goes, no, I love you so much. And I was like, okay, if you remember this.
Go home. So,
Okay.
However, one big challenge is their work in the U.S., and they worry that Europe might be too far from their business commitments. If moving to Europe doesn't work out, they're also thinking about Northern California as a backup plan. Ashton really enjoys the tech scene in Silicon Valley, and he feels it would give their kids a more normal life, far from the craziness of Hollywood. They've grown tired of how shallow Hollywood can be, and even moving to Montecito doesn't seem like enough of an escape anymore.
Babe, what's happening? What's going on?
It's over between us.
It's over between us?
Yeah.
Oh my God, what are we gonna do?
Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis had a little fun with the tabloid rumors after they got an advanced look at a new cover that proclaims, it's over.
I felt suffocated.
You felt suffocated by me? Oh, I was just so overbearing, wasn't I?
Also,
what else is going on?
I took the kids.
Oh, you took the kids? I don't get the kids anymore? Well,
but you had a very dark secret exposed.
Oh my gosh, what was the dark secret?
I don't know. I only have this photo.
Must have been really dark.
Kutcher is currently facing some controversy linked to Diddy, who was arrested in September 2023 on charges of racketeering, conspiracy, and exploitation. Old interviews of Ashton talking about his friendship with Diddy have resurfaced, making things worse. In a 2019 interview on Hot Ones, Ashton spoke highly of Diddy, but hinted at the wild parties the rapper was known for, saying there were things he couldn't share.
Interviewed Kutcher while they ate spicy wings on Hot Ones, and he asked Ashton Kutcher about how he met the rapper and about Combs' infamous parties.
Now, Ashton reportedly regrets his close ties with Diddy, worried that the troubled music mogul might drag his famous friends into the situation to save himself. Diddy is currently being held at Brooklyn's Metropolitan Detention Center while he awaits trial on serious charges, including exploitation, racketeering, and transporting people for the rough trade. Ashton Kutcher has known Diddy for nearly 20 years, and they've spoken positively about each other in public. Ashton even attended some of Diddy's famous events, like his white parties.
It's not really a party story, but our relationship was really bizarre. So it started over punked, because he was like, yo,
don't punk
you
me.
can't punk me. And I was like, I don't know what to tell you. Everybody's on the table. He's like, not me, I'm off the table. And so that started our conversation. We became fast friends, and we used to just hang out, watch football together. And he came over, and I was like, I'm going for a run. He was like, oh, I'll go for a run with you. Diddy party stories, man. That was like some weird memory lane.
But now, with Diddy's recent arrest, sources say Ashton is becoming more and more worried that Diddy might do anything to cut down his time in jail. Ashton reportedly regrets ever being friends with him, feeling lied to, betrayed, and used. He feels the same way about his former That 70s Show co-star, Danny Masterson, and now only trusts his wife, Mila Kunis. He plans to keep his inner circle close, focusing solely on his family. Ashton is worried that Diddy could lie to authorities. Ashton Kutcher's worries come after another controversy in October 2023, when he and Mila Kunis faced backlash for writing character support letters for Danny Masterson, who was sentenced to 30 years for SA. The couple later apologized in a public video, and Ashton even stepped down from his role as chair of his anti-child SA organization as part of the fallout. Sources say Ashton is concerned about how Diddy's investigation will unfold. He's worried that Diddy wouldn't hesitate to lie to authorities or name-drop his famous friends if it could help him get out of jail. At this point, Diddy could say or do anything to protect himself, and everyone close to him is afraid he might make up false accusations to clear his name.
Now the question becomes, where does Ashton Kutcher fit into this Sean Combs saga as he's facing charges, hearing conspiracy, trafficking, transportation to engage in prostitution. Very serious felonies that could carry up to life in prison.
Meanwhile, amidst all this chaos, Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis were seen enjoying a casual walk in Los Angeles over the weekend. Ashton kept it comfortable in light blue sweatpants, a navy t-shirt, sunglasses, and a ball cap as they strolled down the tree-lined street. Mila was spotted getting out of her car, wearing a pink, blue, and white plaid button-down shirt, wide-leg jeans, and a brown belt. She had her hair in a ponytail and carried a crossbody bag. This outing comes after reports surfaced about Ashton feeling regret over his friendship with Sean Diddy Combs, following Diddy's recent arrest. Although Ashton hasn't been charged with anything, recent scandals suggest he might need to reconsider his circle of friends. He's faced backlash for his connections to two of Hollywood's most controversial figures, and it could be a tough time for him to rebuild his reputation after the Diddy situation. Ashton Kutcher is being advised to choose his friends more wisely as Hollywood scandals unfold. With the release of his upcoming Ryan Murphy series, The Beauty, Ashton seems to be enjoying the attention. Starring alongside Evan Peters, Anthony Ramos, and Jeremy Pope is great for his career, but some critics are pointing out his close ties to Danny Masterson and Sean Diddy Combs.
Getting a lot of backlash online about his comments, or maybe I should say lack thereof, on Hot Ones. Ashton Kutcher and his wife Mila Kunis, they were shunned for the support of longtime friend and their fellow star on that 70s show, Danny Masterson. Remember, Masterson was convicted last year for women, sentenced to 30 years in prison. Kutcher and Kunis, they released letters of support after his conviction, saying that Masterson had always treated people with decency, equality, generosity.
While Combs' legal troubles haven't affected the planned November premiere of the FX show, it's hard to ignore how Ashton once spoke highly of the controversial rapper. With Sean Diddy Combs now facing exploitation charges, people are starting to rethink his wild, star-studded parties and his connections to A-list celebrities. Back in the day, Diddy's white party was the place to be, with guests like Leonardo DiCaprio and Martha Stewart. But most stars have stayed quiet about what really happened at those events, or at least tried to. During a 2019 Hot Ones interview, Ashton Kutcher was asked about Diddy's parties. He hesitated a few times and admitted, "I've got a lot I can't tell." Then he added, "Can't tell that one either. I'm cycling through them." That comment has caught attention, especially with reports claiming that Diddy's parties often involved narcotics and people walking around naked. In a resurfaced clip from 2002, Diddy even joked about locking the doors so women couldn't leave, calling his parties a little kinky. Over the years, Ashton Kutcher was a frequent guest at Diddy's events and even co-hosted the White Party with him in 2009. So it raises the question, what do we really know about their friendship?
Became fast friends, and we used to just hang out, watch football together. And he came over, and I was like, "I'm going for a run." He's like, "Oh, I'll go for a run with you." And so he comes over to go for a run. About halfway through the run, he's like, "Yo, I'm running out of gas right now." But we had like paparazzi all around us at the time. He's like, "You gotta slow down but make it look like you're not slowing down."
Because he had to.
I don't want to look like I'm not gonna be able to finish this thing. And he was losing it, right?
Ashton Kutcher and Diddy's friendship has been well known for nearly 2 decades. In the same 2019 Hot Ones interview, Kutcher shared that they first met while he was hosting MTV's Punk'd around 2002, and Diddy was starring in Making the Band. "We became fast friends," Ashton said, mentioning how they'd hang out and watch football together. He even told a story about a run they went on, where Diddy struggled to keep up but was inspired to train for the 2003 New York City Marathon.
Over the fact that he got skunked on this run, that year he decided to run the New York Marathon. And so he just started immediately training for the New York Marathon.
I like that. Bounce back.
Well, he just can't lose. Even when he's that close to humility, that it becomes a driver. And so then he went out and ran the New York Marathon.
The two seemed especially close in the early 2000s, soon after meeting. About a month before Punk'd premiered, Kutcher and his then-girlfriend Brittany Murphy were spotted sitting courtside with Diddy at an NBA All-Star game. A few months later, they teamed up at the 2003 MTV Movie Awards, presenting an award and talking about hot chicks, before handing the Best Villain award to 13-year-old DeVay Chase, who played Samara in The Ring. Looking back, that segment feels uncomfortable, especially when Diddy invited Chase to an after-party on camera. In 2018, Ashton Kutcher and Diddy looked back on their friendship during an appearance on The Late Late Show with James Corden. Ashton talked about how much time they spent together in the early years, saying, "If you're a single guy, there's no better person to hang out with than Diddy. We had a lot of fun." They even joked about Donald Trump stopping by one of Diddy's parties.
Questions.
After the indictment and arrest of Sean Diddy Combs, spotlight has now moved to many of the celebrities who attended Diddy's lavish white parties. There's one celebrity he goes way back with, and that's Ashton Kutcher. The actor has gone on record discussing those parties and what he can't tell. Well, new claims are resurfacing, as well as some disturbing new clips.
However, Ashton's connection to Diddy has led some to question his work as an advocate for victims of child exploitation. He has testified in front of Congress about his efforts and even co-founded the anti-human exploitation tech company, Thorn.
Line of defense, an actor and his foundation were the potential last line of defense. That's my day job, and I'm sticking to it.
But last year, Ashton stepped down from Thorn after facing backlash for defending his That 70s Show co-star, Danny Masterson, who was on trial for intoxicating and essaying 2 women.
In 2017, Masterson was hit with multiple accusations, which he denied. At the time, he and Kutcher were co-stars on another sitcom, The Ranch.
What?
Over 5 years after Danny Masterson's surfaced, his former That 70s Show co-star Ashton Kutcher breaks his silence. The actor opens up to Esquire. In short, it's complicated. Kutcher wants Masterson to be found innocent of the charges brought against him, but at the same time doesn't want his friend to get off the hook. Quote, "I wholesale feel for anybody who feels like they were violated in any way."
As rumors about Ashton's ties to Diddy resurface, TikTok has been buzzing with claims that Ashton and his wife, Mila Kunis, are splitting up. A source, however, called these rumors absolutely ridiculous and false, adding that Ashton isn't part of the conversation about Diddy. The source also noted that Ashton has only seen Diddy at a few public and business events, all covered by the media.
Combs and Kutcher, they were often photographed together, with Kutcher showing his support for Combs' business ventures, attending Combs' Labor Day white parties.
Try to listen to that 1% of people that actually have your best interest in mind. The truth is, the things that I post into public social media, I do so very intently.
Ashton Kutcher, a longtime friend of Diddy, is expected to be subpoenaed as the federal investigation into Diddy continues to grow. Rumors are swirling that Ashton might get caught up in the investigation, which is causing tension in his friendship with Diddy. There are reports suggesting that Ashton attended some of Diddy's infamous parties where people were allegedly exploited and celebrities were filmed in compromising situations, with claims that Diddy used these recordings to blackmail his powerful friends.
Combs' fame, his influence. Because Sean Combs, who has gone by a lot of names over the years since getting a start in New York City in the 90s, we're talking P. Diddy, Puffy, even just Love. He founded Bad Boy Records in 1993. The way that Combs connected with one of his good friends, Ashton Kutcher. And that's what we're going to talk about today. So their friendship started through the prank show called Punk'd. We all remember that one. It aired on MTV. And Combs would later produce several seasons of Making the Band on MTV. It was a reality competition where groups competed to become the next big music sensation.
A source shared that Ashton and Mila Kunis are staying silent about Diddy for now, even though Ashton has been friends with Diddy for 20 years. He has distanced himself from Cassie's lawsuit and the new allegations. Mila has reportedly told Ashton not to contact Diddy anymore. As more of Diddy's secrets are coming out, many think his friends could be at risk, though there's speculation that Diddy might avoid jail due to connections with influential politicians. It's interesting to note how Ashton Kutcher, who was once a leading voice in the fight against human exploitation, now finds himself caught up in these serious allegations. As online discussions intensify, Hollywood's hidden world is being exposed, revealing unsettling truths that have shocked many people. Disturbing details about secret gatherings and shady activities have come to light, showing a darker side to the glamorous industry.
When Time magazine named Ashton Kutcher as one of the 100 most influential people that year, Combs offered the following quote, saying Ashton Kutcher is a sounding board for me. Like me, he's a mogul, a new media mogul, but we are yin and yang I am in your face, but he is understated, cool, suave.
Ashton Kutcher has been one of the few high-profile figures to openly speak out against these troubling practices in Hollywood. He even issued a strong warning to the powerful elites responsible for the maltreatment, signaling that they can no longer hide from the consequences. What was once seen as a haven for creativity and fame is now being questioned, and more people are demanding transparency and justice in the entertainment industry. Many people believe Hollywood has become a place of open secrets, where dark activities are hidden in plain sight. The Harvey Weinstein case is a prime example. His harmful actions were kept under wraps for years. As more of these disturbing stories come to light, it's clear that power dynamics and institutional failures have allowed this behavior to continue. Hollywood is often seen as the center of these problems, known for being a place where such actions are allowed to happen. One person pointed out that inappropriate touching is just one part of it, as there are even worse things happening behind closed doors that most people couldn't even imagine.
As part of my anti-trafficking work, I've met victims in Russia, I've met victims in India, I've met victims that have been trafficked from Mexico, victims in New York and New Jersey and all across our country.
Carnal harassment seems to have been accepted in the entertainment industry for far too long, which is troubling for adults and even more devastating for children who often stay silent as victims. It's been difficult to address these issues because Hollywood tends to respond with silence or fear. But as these truths emerge, more people are becoming aware of the need for change. There's a growing call to question the systems that have allowed this misconduct to continue. And it's clear that Hollywood's culture needs a serious overhaul to make it a safer and more just place for everyone.
And it devastated me. It haunted me. Because for the next 3 months, I had to go to sleep every night and think about that little girl that was still being abused. And the fact that if I built the right thing, we could save. I've been on FBI raids where I've seen things that no person should ever see. I've seen video content of a child that's the same age as mine being by an American man that was in Cambodia. And this child was so conditioned by her environment that she thought she was engaging in play.
Many people have heard countless stories about Hollywood's dark secrets, leaving them feeling scared and uneasy. A clear example of this is the Weinstein Company, where women spoke up about their experiences for years, but their voices were ignored. Harvey Weinstein, despite being the subject of jokes and pop culture, continued to have massive influence producing hit movies and winning Oscars. He was seen as almost untouchable in the industry. Unfortunately, some young, hopeful artists became victims of his manipulation, and he worked hard to keep their stories hidden. His power allowed him to operate as a predator for a long time, even though there were signs of his wrongdoing.
Harvey Weinstein was in a New York courtroom today, and then he was hit with new charges in Los Angeles. 2 women there, the same hotel, one night right after the other.
The defendant used his power and influence to gain access to his victims and then committed violent crimes against them.
The DA accuses Weinstein.
An Italian woman accused Weinstein of forcing himself on her, leaving her terrified of the consequences if she resisted. Feeling powerless, she complied. This incident, along with others from over 20 years ago, remained hidden until the New York Times exposed Weinstein's pattern of maltreatment. Afterward, many women from the 1990s came forward with similar stories, describing how he pressured them into intimate acts, especially targeting those new to the industry. In 2017, Wadil David filed a lawsuit accusing Weinstein of human exploitation, alleging that he lured her to his hotel room under the guise of discussing a role in Marco Polo. Many victims claimed he used the promise of movie roles to demand intimate favors, potentially violating federal laws. These revelations shook Hollywood, sparking calls for greater accountability and protection for vulnerable individuals in the industry. It's upsetting to realize that actresses who stood up to Harvey Weinstein and turned down his advances were blacklisted for simply doing the right thing. The court's decision to let the case move forward is an important step, recognizing that the plaintiffs have valid claims that Weinstein exploited them for his own gain. The judge also acknowledged that for aspiring actresses, getting a chance to meet a well-known film producer like Weinstein is incredibly valuable. A private meeting to discuss their work or potential roles could be life-changing for their careers. The idea that these actresses gain nothing of value from those meetings or that opportunities to work with Weinstein's team held no worth, misses the reality of today's industry. The court's recognition of the power imbalance and the potential harm these women faced is crucial. It highlights the need to hold people accountable for their harmful actions and sends a clear message that such behavior won't be ignored or accepted in any industry. Although Harvey tried to settle the lawsuit and some victims dropped it, allowing him to keep these wrongdoings hidden, many well-known figures were aware of his actions. Weinstein is just one example of the serious issues in the industry, which is full of similar problems. People like Mel Gibson, Ashton Kutcher, and Jim Caviezel are actively fighting against these terrible acts. This ongoing problem demands attention and action from society as it remains unresolved. In September 2020, Netflix's film Cuties sparked a huge controversy, with people arguing whether it was raising awareness about child exploitation or actually exploiting the young actresses who were only 11 years old. The topic of child exploitation in Hollywood has long been a sensitive one, often hidden behind rumors and accusations. However, the attention around Cuties prompted the Justice Department to investigate. Actor Isaac Cappy, known for his role in Thor, added to the conversation in 2018 when he made serious accusations online. He claimed that some parents in show business allowed their children to be mistreated, driven by the lure of money and roles. According to Cappy, these parents essentially sold their children for financial gain, and he dared anyone to sue him if he was lying. Tragically, 9 months after making those claims, Isaac Cappy took his own life after jumping off a bridge in Arizona. His sudden demise brought even more attention to the issue, highlighting the urgent need for further investigation and accountability in Hollywood. There is real evidence, not just rumors, of the terrible exploitation of children in the entertainment industry. One of the most shocking cases is Jimmy Savile, a well-known BBC star in the UK. After his passing in 2011, investigations uncovered that he had maltreated up to 1,000 children, some as young as 2. The details are horrifying, with stories of girls as young as 14 being subjected to his advances. In the past, many people in the industry got away with these awful actions, avoiding punishment. But now with technology and more public awareness, things are changing. Advocates are working to make sure those who commit these crimes are held accountable. Public support and attention are crucial in bringing these dark issues to light and ensuring justice is served. The fight to stop child exploitation in the entertainment world continues, with a strong commitment to protecting the vulnerable and making the industry a safer place for everyone. But what do you think about all this? Would Diddy really snitch on Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis? And what could be the implications in both of Ashton and Mila's Hollywood careers? Let us know your thoughts. That's all for today. We hope you absorbed a lot from that video, and if you did, make sure to hit like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more videos like this.